Maybe you're a business owner and the company's just been growing and you found yourself get more involved in the sales side as the team asks things of you, so put more cash in the company bank account. Or you're a promoted manager and you were just a salesperson prior and you're not sure how to structure your time. Knowing when to hire versus build more systems is super important for setting your priorities to create growth within your company. And usually when you're unsure, your thoughts look like this. It's really common to get stuck between, well, do I make our CRM better, or do I hire in a new setter, or do I actually just train our setters to be better? It's the constant shuffling of what should you be doing with your time in a day. I'm about to make it super simple to know when you should hire more people, when you should train your team, and when you should build new systems. And it comes down to looking at the data. More importantly, one metric in particular is going to tell you exactly what you should be doing, which is your cash collected per call. You want to look at it at an individual level and you want to look at it at a business level. And if you don't know how to calculate your cash per call, the math to do it is really simple. The first thing you're going to look at is what is the cost from marketing to directly put a call in the calendar. So if you're running any sort of paid media, how much does it cost for someone cold to come in a straight line off of that media onto the calendar? What is the cost? And then you also want to look at how does that cost change when it's averaged with any sort of organic or SEO traffic you have. Maybe you have an outbound agency booking appointments at a much lower cost. Maybe you have an organic following, or maybe you have really good SEO that's driving demand. So you want to look at how much does it cost directly from ads, how much does it cost from alternative marketing means, how much are we paying out commission per sale on average, and that is the number that you want to stay above. So once more, so if we pull up a sales tracker, look at the amount of cash one person collected and look at how much commission they made and divide that by the number of calls. That's the commission per call. And then look at, okay, how much did we pay in marketing to put a call on the calendar? How much is the blended cost? And then add the commission to both of those numbers. And then you're going to see the low end cash per call and the high end cash per call. But it's important to know whether it's the low end or the high end, that is how much you need to make minimum to break even. So let's do an example right now. If it costs me $300 to put a call on the calendar from paid ads, and we're selling a $10,000 product, and we're paying $1,000 per sale because it's a 10% commission, and we close 1 out of every 5 people at a 20% close rate, then my cash per call must be above $550 because it cost me $300 to put the appointment and 1 out of every 5 closes, and that $1,000 commission divided over 5 is $250, which means, once more, the cash per call must be above $550 on the high end. Now, if I want to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, if we blend in whatever the organic is, let's say 1 out of every 10 calls comes from organic, which doesn't have a cost to us, or it's a hard to attribute cost, then maybe the cash per call will come to 500. I, as a sales manager, must ensure that everybody's cash per call is above that metric. So now that you know what your cash per call is, how do you leverage it to prioritize what you do? Well, if your cash per call is below your target, then you must focus on training and developing the team. They must get better at converting the leads that are coming in front of them so that way they can get above that and your business can start making money with the deals that they're closing. If you are above it in a healthy margin, maybe 2 times above what it should be, that's probably my favorite place. If we are 2x for cash per call, then I just want to focus on driving more volume, putting more calls onto the calendar. And if we are at our target cash per call, but there's no more calls, that's when I want to focus on hiring. So coming back to our example from before, if we are below 550 cash per call, I'm focusing on training and development, especially with our lowest producing reps to bring our average up. If our number is looking healthy, I want to focus on putting more volume through, so building systems or driving more call volume. And if I can't put any more calls on the calendar, that's when I want to focus on hiring and bringing more and new people in to handle the volume that we are getting. So that's how you prioritize when you need to build systems versus when you need to hire individuals. Moving from that point into challenge number 3, which is knowing who to hire and who not to hire, which is something you will inevitably need to do as a sales manager. Now, my advice on this is going to be definitely a little bit counterintuitive, as a lot of people will talk about having multi-layered hiring processes where you maybe do background checks, real live simulated mock calls, and looking at call recordings. I definitely have a counterintuitive approach that serves me and has worked well, especially for our client accounts, that is a bit different than what's out there. And I encourage you to maybe take this and blend some of the themes of it into what you're doing now, because there's 2 things I look at when knowing who to hire and who not to hire. The first one is just, will they fit in? One thing that I'm always assessing a sales candidate on is how well will they fit into what we have. That means how well will our customers respond to them and the people that we're taking meetings with? How well will they fit into our actual sales team meetings and the culture of the other people that we have? And how well do I think me and them will just get along individually? Those are 3 important parts of knowing how well they'll fit in, because if they fail any one of those, I'm not going to bring them in. It's important that I hire people that I know my customer demographic are going to look at, respect, and want to hand money to. And also that my team is going to feel like is a meaningful player or contributor to what we're building, especially our team culture. And it's also important that I see myself getting along with them just as an individual, because as a sales manager, I'm super hands-on, super responsive, and I'm going to ask myself, Am I going to answer a call from this person at 10:30 at night if I feel like a deal depends on it? It's a lot like if you think back to your days in school, where people kind of bunch together. And my sales team is kind of like a clique of individuals. We behave and operate a certain way. And what I don't want to do is have a team of skateboarders that I bring a golf kit into, or vice versa. They're just not going to get along. I've turned away candidates who I like purely because I just don't see them sitting in with the existing team and culture, but maybe there's another client account or a colleague of mine that I know that they could definitely fit well into. Okay, now the second thing I look at of knowing who to hire and who not to hire is the actual judgment or assessment of the skills. This actually happens partly in the interview and the questions that I ask them. I'm always assessing the level of charisma and how well they can tell a story, and more importantly, how do they articulate themselves and can they keep me engaged in what they're saying. The second thing I look at is any form of sample calls that they give me, and this is an important determining factor. I don't watch an entire call recording to see the way that they sell. I usually only watch to the end to see how much they challenge or stay in the pocket to help somebody purchase the product or service that they are selling, how much conviction can they muster, and how far can they take a point to get somebody to believe it. Because if you're a top producing sales professional, you know as well as I do that a lot of people need to be coached into making a purchase. They're just not going to make it on their own because it's not the type of thing that they would do, which is precisely why they need your help in the first place. And if I can't see a call where I can see in real time you step into the plate and guide somebody into making a change that you know is going to help them, and you have authentic conviction that you give them in that being possible, then I don't know if you're going to be a good fit for my team. Once more, it's that golf guy fitting in with a bunch of skater kids. Just not going to mesh. Another side of that is I'm actually doing a disservice to my team by bringing somebody who doesn't support our standards, especially as the leader, because I'm saying, look, we accept this, as opposed to we accept excellence and excellence only.